All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Dive into Real Estate Investing for Newbies podcast. I have a very special guest, George Salas. George has had a lot of success, especially in the area of Airbnb. That's why I'm very excited to have him on the show to talk about that. I know a lot of listeners are interested in getting into Airbnb, and George is the man that's absolutely crushing it right now. So, George, welcome to the show. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be on.
Cecil, man, thank you very much for having me, brother. I'm ready to dive straight into real estate, man. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, George, man, I don't think you've been doing this for like a very long time. It's like you've had a lot of, I wouldn't call it short-term success, because some people think that you become a success overnight. I'm sure you've been in the trenches doing a lot, had a lot of wins and losses, but kind of tell us how you got started, man, and how you got into real estate.
Absolutely, brother. I'll take a 3-minute take on a quick story, right? And this is just from how I actually moved here to the United States. So I'll break it down for you. My journey started when I was 6. Okay, and I'm from Peru. And I was born in a small little town, but we moved to the capital. My parents walk into my bedroom with my brother and I, and I'm 6 years old, and they basically say, you're going to go live at your grandma's, right? They're getting a divorce. So we moved to a small town, and we live in this adobe house from 6 to 15. I don't see my father. The house itself, half of it is an adobe house. Like, we were very poor, right? Very, very poor. It melted. So I'll never forget that we had to live in one little bedroom. The house, just think of not a shack, but it's just an adobe house. And when you walk in the outside of a bedroom, there are the chickens right there. There's the backyard. And then, your ceilings are it's not drywall, it's sugarcane and adobe, right? So the adobe starts falling out over the years. There's holes. So like roaches can come in, and, like the door gap is this big, and, rats go in the bedroom, right? So I'm talking about, we were in the wild, right? So when I was 15 years old, my father came back into my life, and we moved here to Houston. Okay. From there, I essentially played soccer my entire youth, and I got into the nightlife, right? I was an event promoter. I was a bartender, first a bartender, then an event promoter. And I founded a company that promoted about 80 to 90 different events, nightclubs / bars. So I did the production, I did the promotion and all that stuff for 10 years, right? This is from the age of 22 until 32, which is about 5 years ago. So 32 and a half, 33. Today, I'm 37. I just turned 37 today. So what happened was, at age 27, just 10 years ago, I decided to open up a nightclub. So I put all of my savings into this nightclub, and it was a partner's project. Okay. I put everything I had. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, lesson number 1, into this place. And it took us about 2 years to open it, right? We built a lease from the ground up. So me being successful, number 1 in my niche, and then I put $410,000 out of my own pocket that I had saved into the project. A year and a half later, I get into, we get into trouble, and basically we get shut down, right? And wow. the partnership was the bad thing. It was my fault completely, because I didn't look good enough into the partner. I didn't do enough research. I didn't protect myself good enough. So I'm sure we've all got into these types of partnerships, right? So guess what? Place is shut down. I'll lose everything I have. I'm 29, 30 years old by then, right? And 2 years, maybe 31. Okay. And I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I'm sitting in my bathroom. I don't have a place anymore. I put all my savings. I literally have like $2,000 in my bank account, right? This is four years ago. And I don't know, it's September of 2017. I don't know where I'm going, right? I'm crying, I can't smell, I don't know what to think. I'm like, what am I going to do with myself now? Sitting in my bathroom in my apartment, right? It's 4 years ago. And then I get a phone call. And my friend, Brett Franklin, always give him the inspiration credit. He calls me, he says, George, come to my flip. Okay. I go to his flip and there's about 10 people. And for the next 3 hours, he just talks mindset, inspiration. And then he's like, you can do this, man. You guys can do this. Look at this thing. I'm going to make $50,000 on this thing. It took me 3 months. I borrowed every penny of this deal using private money. So something sparked in me that I could do better, that I was better than that, that I wanted to give up at that time. You know, I felt so down, right? So when I walked out of that room, out of the house, I had one spark, many aha moments. My decision was to not stay where I'm at and change my entire life and get into real estate. So I made that decision. So I started studying. I bought all books, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor's first book I ever read. You know, I did the Dan Merrill wholesaling and all the mindset books. I went to seminars. I bought courses, but these cheap courses, right? I didn't really have enough money to get coaching for myself, which I needed it. We all need it. And 4 months later, I get my first deal. I make $46,000 in my first deal, right? It's a flip, right? So I flip it. So it takes obviously 4 months to do it, but I borrowed every penny of it, including the down payment. I call everybody and I say, hey, I'm getting into real estate. I'm flipping. It's what I started doing at first, right? Boom, 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 cool. And people start supporting. I got some partners to come in and put some money. I was doing 7 flips by the summer of 18. Okay. Then I found out what wholesaling was. And I'm like, oh my God, you can wholesale, make a fee, and you don't have to put all this money up. You don't even have to buy the property. I'm like, yes, I love it. So boom, I make 98 grand in 6 months. I mean, I'm saying boom, but it was a lot of work, right? And this is like maybe 8 wholesale deals. You know, one is my highest was 37K. So I'm like, wow, July, which is the month we just passed, 2018, I made 62K. You know, in my wholesale business, I was excited. So I take the 62K or majority of the 98, and I figured out that I needed cash flow, right? So I found out about short-term rentals that same month. So immediately I took action, right? And I put down, I went and found rental properties, multifamily apartments that I could rent. And I just nailed it. I sent so many inquiries, nailed one. They rented me 10 apartments, 8 in one location, 2 in a different one. And that's how I started my short-term rental business, right? And that same year, in 4 months from, you know, August 1st is when I first got my first Airbnb payout, which is 3 years ago, to December of 18, I make $119,000.